Hello everybody, I am here to talk about In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. Now, if you guys have missed my other book talk, I do have a book talk over The Darkest Minds, which is the first book, as well as Never Fade and Sparks Rise, which is the second novella. So, if you missed those, I will link them below for you, and if you don't even know what this trilogy is about, I talk all about it in this first book talk. These all are so amazing. Honestly, it's a really good trilogy. I'm very happy with how it ended. I gave all 3 books and both novellas 5 out of 5 stars. I thought they were fantastic, and I highly recommend them. So honestly, I really enjoyed this book. I really liked how it wrapped up. I really liked where the characters went. And I just overall was very happy where Alexandra Bracken went with this, you know? I feel like sometimes with dystopian trilogies and things, sometimes we're not happy with how things wrap up, and that stinks. It really does. So I am very, very happy with this ending. And I do want to talk about, I really want to discuss it, and there are going to be spoilers and stuff, so please only continue watching this if you've actually read this book, because I don't want to ruin this for you. Like I said, I am very happy with the ending, and I guess in comparison, I don't really know which one I liked the most. I think that maybe this was my least favorite, just because I really enjoyed Never Fade and The Darkest Minds, but I was so happy with this ending, and I did cry in this book, but it wasn't the same type of crying as the first 2 books. For example, whenever Zoo is in the interview and she starts talking, I started crying, but they were like happy tears, I don't know, I just was so happy for her and everything she's gone through and everything she went through with the first novella, and just, it was so good. I really liked where like Chubbs and like Vita went and everything. I love Vita as a character now, and I didn't guess this in the second one, but whenever their little bantering started, I was like, oh, they're gonna become like the best of friends because Vita's always making fun of him. I just see it now. Then it continued, and I was like, oh, I bet they're gonna like get together, and I can see this, just because you wouldn't ever guess that either one would like one another. And I was right. I was so happy that I was right. Obviously, I was a little irritated with Liam and Ruby in this book because of the back and forth stuff. However, I wasn't surprised by it because of the ending of The Darkest Minds and because of the ending of Never Fade. I mean, she took away his memories. They've got a few issues to sort out, so to speak. And truthfully, right in this book, I mean, there was so much other stuff going on that it didn't matter to Ruby. It shouldn't have mattered, you know? Like, she should have been just focusing on herself and, like, dealing with Clancy and trying to break out these kids from these camps and just everything else going on. So I really wasn't worried about it. I really wasn't that upset. I knew by the end it'd work out, and I was right. So, you know, it all worked out. But yeah, they had some definitely really cute moments in this book. I am super happy that Cole died, though. I'm so happy he did tell Liam before he died, but I still wish I still think he should have told him sooner. And I did like Cole. He was a very complex character, much like Clancy, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I liked Cole, and it made me really upset that he was shot and then burned, because I'm just like, that's so wrong. It made me think of like Leo from the Heroes of Olympus series, and he can't get burned, you know, with like the fire and all that stuff. So I guess I kind of thought that's how Cole was. Apparently not. So Clancy. Some of you hate him. I understand why. I kind of hate him, but I like him. I do like Clancy. And I didn't like him at the end of The Darkest Minds, but I was kind of looking forward to seeing his face in Never Fade, and I wasn't disappointed. Things are always interesting when Clancy's around. In this book, I did guess that when she was sleepwalking, the very first time, I did guess that was Clancy controlling her, because we've been with Ruby all these books, and then all of a sudden she just starts sleepwalking, but yet Clancy's living in the underground like headquarters with her. It was too obvious. Like, I knew that Clancy was controlling her, but it's dumb because I knew he was controlling her, but I did not put 2 and 2 together with whenever Nico and Cole were talking about the computers and the server and all of that stuff. I didn't think it was Ruby. I didn't know what to think about that. Obviously, so that part was a surprise whenever she like wakes up and she's about to shoot Clancy's mom. That was all kind of crazy. And then whenever she realized, oh my gosh, he's escaping, he used me once again, and he's gonna get out of here, and betray all these kids. I did freak out at that moment. I was gonna be so mad if all those kids got taken in. But then everything happened with Nico. I did start liking Nico again in this book. I was irritated just like Ruby. I was irritated with him whenever he like basically betrayed them. However, we also learn a lot more about Nico in this book. With Clancy, whenever we are in his head during like those experimentations and stuff, that was terrible. That was another reason why I can't fully just hate Clancy. But when we learn about how Nico has feelings for Clancy, and Ruby even said it herself, how, you know, people do crazy things for people they love, and it just all made so much more sense that I understood Nico a lot more. So I am very happy that him and Ruby did kind of make up, and I'm happy that he didn't go into the camp. I'm happy in a way that Ruby did, because I do think he probably would have died, for sure. I think he would have died. Clancy's just such a complex character, but in the end, like, with his mother, it was also just, it's just complicated. That's what it is. I am happy that Ruby did give him peace. And some of you may not agree with me, especially because Clancy would not have done that for Ruby, but she knows that. And the difference, that's why she's not like Clancy, because she did that for him. Because in a way, that was his worst nightmare. What his mom did to him was the worst thing. He would have rather been dead, I'm sure. And so, yeah, I was really happy with Ruby, and she just comes so far, and I'm happy that she doesn't just try to cover up that part of her, that she's learned to live with it, and that she's just grown so much. She doesn't think of herself as like this monster. And I really liked it when she helped Clancy's mom, and they started crying. I almost started tearing up whenever she started crying, and she like knew that she had helped her, and that she's like, you know, at least I have this, at least my powers can do this. So I was really hoping that she'd get reunited with her grams. I'm so happy that happened. I was not expecting her mom and dad, though, to be reunited with her. So that was super cool. And I liked how everything ended with like the press conference, and I'm happy with everything with like the leader and how everything's in like 4 and other countries and Chubb speaking up. I know everything's gonna be okay. It kind of ended a little open, so we don't know for sure, but I think that the way that she was talking to Chubbs made it seem like, you know, they want to listen to Chubbs, and that they're gonna work it out, and they're not gonna have to live in those communities, and everything will be fine. So on to my only problem, maybe 2 problems, with the entire book. First off, I am very happy that Ruby and Sam reunited. I was like, ever since I read Sparks Rise, I just couldn't wait for them to get reunited, and I'm so happy she fixed her memories. And like whenever she was laying on the bunk bed and she like put her arm down, and like just Ruby doesn't have a lot of friends, and I wanted her to have Sam back. That was really important to me. So I'm really happy that all of that happened. Also, I forgot to say that whenever she was in the camp, I was so excited. Like whenever the soldier is like kind of pushing her along, and she's just like, oh, we're not doing this, and then makes it to where she's just kind of walking, but the soldier's just kind of like walking with her, so it's not suspicious to other people. Or like when they're hanging out coats because they're gonna be outside, and the guy sees her name and then just skips her, and Ruby's like, oh no, so you don't know who I am, but you're gonna give me a freaking coat. And it was just like, I wish that she could have been doing this last time she was in the camp. And I wish, you know, I know she had to go up through everything, but I'm so happy that she could now. Whenever Sam and her are in the garden, and whenever Tilden comes up to them, I'm like, do it! Ruby, do it now! Kill him! Sam and Ruby combined, just kill him. Gosh, I hate him. From Sparks Rise, he's... Ugh. I am happy that she humiliated him and made him pee himself and trip, but it wasn't enough. We don't know what happened with him. Did he die? I don't know, because nothing else came of that. It wasn't enough for me. After he's abused so many of those kids, and after the way he treated Sam, I wanted him dead. So I got distracted, but back to the 2 problems I had. One was Tilden, that nothing ever really happened with Tilden other than he was humiliated. I wanted more. The second thing, Lucas and Sam. We never got like any sort of like conclusion. Like Sam was looking at him and Ruby's like, oh, do you know him like from before? I was hoping at that moment that Ruby could like jump on his head and try and fix him and help him, so in the end, whenever they could escape, that he could go with them. But no, that didn't happen. And actually, we don't even know if Sam got out, because Sam is not mentioned at the end. obviously, or Lucas. So I heard someone talk about a Sparks Rise sequel, and that better freaking happen, because I'm gonna be so upset if I've got to know. I've got to know what happened to Sam and Lucas. I have to know. But those were honestly the only two problems. If I hadn't even read Sparks Rise, I wouldn't have had those problems. But because I did read the novella, now I'm just like wishing and hope. Yeah. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys think of this book and then the trilogy as a whole. I want to hear your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. If you read Sparks Rise and you agree with me, let me know, because I don't want to be like, I'm sure you guys agree with me. If you read Sparks Rise, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I will see you guys tomorrow in my next video. Bye!